Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 258, titled GATO and Chill. Locker Room Talk. As we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming live from the Primetime Radio Studios in the bunker, in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. Seeing those piling in after a great victory last night, less than 24 hours ago, in Madison Square Garden, where the New Jersey Devils fans took over the building. There's a new sheriff in town. NHL, beware, your New Jersey Devils, number one overall in the National Hockey League with the most points. And that's a good thing, folks. That is a very good thing. This Devils team is showing signs of maturing. They're not perfect, but which team is? Right now, the Devils are just going into arenas, especially on the road, and finding ways to win. And it's very methodical now. Not so much always having to catch up at the last second, getting down on themselves, down to nothing yesterday. And oh boy, we're going to turn on the engine. Start the engine. We're ready to roll. And roll 4 lines they did. Roll 3 D pairings they did. And Vitek Vanacek, which, didn't exactly have his best stuff, but finding ways to win. Despite a lot of penalties in the game, they were able to kill most, but in the playoffs, that may not be enough. And Dawson Mercer, as Dave Singer saying, is perfect, Sam. Yeah, no sophomore slump from Mr. Mercer himself. So we're going to have some GATO and Chill. I actually have my red Dixie cup here. Gonna have a little locker room talk, just talk about random things as we're waiting for the Nashville Predators to come into town on Thursday. Now we're just gonna be waiting around, resting. It stinks that we don't have Devils hockey, but I can tell you tomorrow, on the State of the Fan address presented by pucksandpitchforks.com, Nick Volano, pucksandpitchforks.com editor-in-chief, has lined up a pretty good lineup. Mike Kelly from NHL Network will be on, and Catherine Bogart from the New Jersey Devils will be on, making her first appearance live on State of the Fan address at a new start time, special time at 8 p.m. Eastern. It will start. Be there, be square. And, it's going to be a good one. And some of you talking about Sharon Govich. I don't want to steal Scotty when he says, Sharon! But I love it when he does that on Devils After Dark after the game. So we're having some GATO. We're chilling. Locker room talk. What would we normally talk in a locker room? Ramona, how are you? How are you? Craig Best, hello. Steve Tardas, LGD. Anthony LaPena, how are you? How's Tori? When's her birthday? Let me know so I don't forget. Promise that you remind me. I have a bad memory, short memory. So, yeah, let's have a little locker room talk. I know those that are probably in the car right now listening in. We're going to try something new. We talk a lot of Devils hockey, a lot of X's and O's, lots of stuff. But I'll tell you, proud of you, New Jersey Devils fans, taking over Madison Square Garden last night. And let's see that be a trend, because do you think this could be a dynasty in the making? At least the Devils are firing on all cylinders, on all cylinders, turbocharged right now. Basically went pretty much almost undefeated in the month of November. And, well, let's just say they're very good. They're almost scary good. If this is what the future looks like for this young New Jersey Devils team, when you go around town and people see you wearing your Devils hat, or what I'm wearing right now, my Devils, I don't know, pullover? I don't know. They're asking, so how did they win the game? They know they did, so they're trying to make your day feel better. How are those Devils doing? You know what you tell them? They're number 1 in the NHL. Felt good today. Felt absolutely good today. Walking around with your head held up high, knowing that you've got a lead over the Islanders and Hurricanes and those Rangers and Penguins and Flyers and the BJs and whatnot. It felt good. And the team's relaxed. And I think GATO and chill is pretty much almost the slogan, the theme of what goes on in the locker room. We're going to chill. We're not going to panic. And if there's problems, we talk it out. And that's a good thing. A very good thing. Jack Hughes starting to light it up. Starting to take over the scoring. Nico Hischier, whenever he scores, the Devils always win. Stats don't lie. Jesper Bratt still doing very well. Apparently, they're going to restart, or they've already started contract negotiations. Probably the timing is okay. Bratt's a big part of the lineup for your New Jersey Devils. The Z Series BMW line, having Zetterlund filling in for Nathan Basham. Let me tell you about that. Zetterlund's a complete player. He's a good player. He'll give you the intangibles. He'll give you speed. He'll give you feistiness. And he gives you some skill as well. Fabian Zetterlund, again, another later round pick from the New Jersey Devils scouting. Jesper Bratt as well in that category. And that tells you something. This team is starting to come together. Already has. As what Chico Resch texted me yesterday, that, this will continue to the playoffs. Playoffs? Well, when you're the number 1 team in the league right now, you already have written and established a blueprint of success. Granted, the Devils could go on a losing streak, but at least they have a roadmap and compass to guide them to where they need to be. And I'll tell you, this team is exciting. I wish Howla would get more goals. Seems like he's just falls barely short sometimes. But he's a pretty good player. Dawson Mercer is as well. Alexander Holtz getting playing time. But he's going to have to do better if he's going to stay up with the big club. Defensively, Ryan Graves, Dougie Hamilton, the Twin Towers seeing some ice time yesterday to get paired together at times against the New York Rangers. But it's just fun to see how the Devils methodically wear down their opponents. Just wear them down. And you're right, Boquist is playing well of late, Dave Singer. But, you know, what happens when Palat comes back? Who do you take out of the lineup? Do you know? Want to hear you, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Twitter Live. Who do you take out when Palat comes back? Boquist? He's playing well of late. But Palat's the top 6 forward. Where do you put him? And it's amazing what the Devils have done without him in the lineup. It's one loss. And truthfully, that one loss is, you can put an asterisk next to it. Kevin Ball needs some time to get into the lineup. But he'll get there. Injuries happen, folks, and they happen unexpectedly. You can't predict it, but they do happen. It's good that the Devils have what we call depth, especially when they spent all the way to the cap ceiling. Having Miles Wood back, that energy line that they've got. And I think right now the Devils are in very, very good shape. And how about Lindy Ruff? Remember all you folks wanted him fired? I remember a month and a half ago, Sam, I really like the podcast. And I do like you, but you got to stop with this Lindy love because it's just, you know, it's starting to get old. But remember what I wrote in that article on pucksandpitchforks.com back in last February. Continuity was the main priority, reason why I supported Lindy Ruff. And look at how these young players are flourishing. Lots of people say, hey, it has to do with the assistant coaches. That's very true. But every coach needs a good staff under them, working with them as a team. And to be fair to Lindy, he got hired during the heart of the pandemic and basically was, okay, you got Naz and Mark Recchi to work with. Now, it's a high-caliber assistant coaches by committee. Sergey Brelin, you know, Andrew Burnett. You know, these coaches are great. And Lindy took his time, and Fitzgerald took their time to get the right people to fix the problem. And every move that Tom Fitzgerald pretty much made this past offseason has been, if I were to give him a grade up until this point, it's an A+. Plus. Think about it. Think about it. This team's on a roll right now. They look unstoppable. Jack Hughes looks unstoppable. But you can't toy with Jack Hughes anymore. I think teams are finding out Jack Hughes is the real deal. And we could put the rest, the Jack Hughes Capo, debate to rest. Jack Hughes is on another planet right now. Yeah, he may have entered the league as a, undersized 18-year-old. But he worked his butt off to get his body to where it needs to be. He's gotten smarter, avoiding some checks. And I think the New Jersey Devils are not done yet. I mean, it's just getting started, folks. Going into the month of December. Yeah, there were some games that they could have lost during that streak. But they learn how to overcome. And I'll tell you, yeah. I'll tell you, I think the Devils could be one of these dynasty teams that potentially can do what the New York Islanders did in the 80s. Because given what's going on right now, and this is not a homer biased Devils fan that I am, in full disclosure I am, but it's because of the pipeline that they rebuilt. That's why I'm saying that. Because in the salary cap era, if your pipeline is not full of young talent, from the first rounders to the undrafted, you're only as good as your weakest link in the salary cap era. And you've got Luke Hughes, Seamus Casey, Simone Nemitz, young, raw talent that's still in the pipeline that have first D pairing potential on any team in the NHL. And they're not even playing with the big club right now. You've got Dougie Hamilton locked long-term, Nico Hischier long-term, Jack Hughes long-term, soon-to-be Jesper Bratt long-term. John Marino, the savior, on the blue line. He's had 4.5 years left at a decent rate. Siegenthaler is long-term. You got some defense. Joseph says Chase Stillman had 4 goals the other night. Yeah, we haven't even talked about the other picks. Aside from Holtz, Mercer, these are Tommy Fitz picks we're talking about here. But we haven't seen Luke Hughes, Chase Stillman, Muhammad Doolin, if he ever comes. We haven't seen Nemitz be a permanent fixture here with the New Jersey Devils. So if you lose Damon Severson and Ryan Graves during free agency or via trade, for trade deadline, just making hypotheticals here, not speculating, you still have a pipeline to fill those roles. What the Devils need right now, they need to stay healthy. Nathan Bastian's going to be out for a while, but not a problem. Next man up, next skater up. Zetterlund, the Z Series BMW line. They're going to be pretty good. And they're going to be scary good. And they've got some big games to play. Nashville, the Flyers, the Islanders next week, the Blackhawks. But it's one game at a time, folks. I know I just talked about a dynasty and the future and all that, but you've got to be happy. You've got to be happy that your fellow Devils fan is engaged with the team and is taking over buildings on the road. I'm wondering what's going to happen in Philadelphia. Will it happen again? Are you excited for this team to even travel to Philadelphia? Right now, the Devils are getting noticed. But it's only November. Only November. Summer's upon us. Again, 3 in a row right now. And I think this young Devils team that had many hard failures in the past few seasons, I think it's all paying off dividends right now. They don't want to go back to losing. And I wrote this article on pucksandpitchforks.com that the Devils hate losing more than they do winning. And sometimes that motivates you to a whole new level because you hate it that bad. And when Miles Wood said his thing after opening night in Philadelphia, he was tired of being on a crappy team. Not those words exactly, but I'm just paraphrasing here. And I think this nucleus is going to be here for a while. The coaches, they may find, assistant coaches, they may find full-time work elsewhere because of the success of the New Jersey Devils. But Lindy Ruff is at the top right now with over 800 career wins. And we'll see. We will see. Want to thank all those tuning in. Just a reminder, State of the Fan address starting at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Wednesday. Mike Kelly of NHL Network will be on, and Catherine Bogart, New Jersey Devils, will also be in the primetime radio studios in the bunker, virtually, of course. We don't give out our coordinates about the bunker. That's why it's an undisclosed location, because if there were to be something bad happen, there'd be taxes, cockroaches, and the Let's Go Devils podcast if the apocalypse ever happened. Also, I want to thank JCB Architectural. Had a nice chat with John today, talking about Devils hockey, talking about the podcast, free giveaways. We're going to have more where you can win Devils tickets through the Let's Go Devils podcast, where we want everybody to go to the Devils game. And just remember, we don't charge a dime. Just remember that. All for you, my friends. So that's our Gato and Chill Power Hour. Actually, we didn't even go to the top of the hour. Or did we? That's a little radio lingo for you. John Hines, Nashville Predators. Is he still with Nashville? I should have researched that. I forgot about John Hines. Remember that guy? The Ray Shero couldn't let go? Yeah. All right. I want to thank all those tuning in, dropping the podcast at midnight for your morning and afternoon commute. I'll see you at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on State of the Fan address. Be there, be square. It's going to be a great podcast, live podcast, taking your questions and comments. Yeah. I'll ask Catherine Bogart if she drinks Gato and chills before and after the game. Thanks, folks. Thank you for tuning in on the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.